This is Jerry DiPaola, and this is the Trib 1 Minute Pitt football video for Tuesday. We're one day into Penn State week. Pitt coach Pat Narduzzi met with the media yesterday, and he dropped a little bit of a bombshell on us when he said his players and his coaches will not be available for interviews this week. He wants them totally focused on Penn State. He doesn't want them wasting 1 minute of time giving us quotes or talking to the reporters. It's all Penn State all the time, which is fine. He knows his team much better than I do. But what he did was he sent a message to his team, and maybe it's okay. It's an okay message to send, but he sent a message of this game is different. This game is more important than almost any game you're going to play all season. My question is, what's going to happen if they're playing for the ACC championship later in the season? Is he going to try and do the same thing? Is this game any more important than an ACC game? He even said, no, it's not, because even when they lose, they can still win the conference and still meet their goals. But there won't be any interviews. There won't be any quotes coming from players this week. I'll get by. It gives me time to do a couple other things. They're going to offer our Trib readers later in the week. I've always thought, and I've always had this opinion, some quotes are overrated. If you're only going to get, we're going to try and get better. We're already trying hard out there, giving good effort. Boring quotes, okay? Now, the guys over my right shoulder there, Terry Bradshaw and Art Rooney Sr., very good storytellers, very good guys to talk to. There's been guys like that on the Pitt team over the years. There's guys like that on the Pitt team right now. Going back to 2011, defensive lineman Chaz Alexi, great quote, especially the day he got into a fight with a big fat offensive lineman from Utah. Andrew Taglianetti, the Central Catholic kid, defensive back, really very honest. He wasn't afraid to tell you what was on his mind. Ray Graham was fun to talk to back in the day under Paul Chryst. Back in 2012, and this year's team, two guys from Fox Chapel, actually, Adam Bisnawadi, who I got one-on-one early in the season, very good interview, wasn't afraid to say what's on his mind, and of course, Quentin Virginis was very good, and the other Fox Chapel guy, and then, of course, Mike Caprera, really good interview, knows a lot about defense, could be a coach, maybe will be a coach someday. He gives me, a guy like me, some insight into the defense that I really wouldn't get without talking to some of these players. But again, I'll get by. It's Pat Narduzzi's team. He can do whatever he wants. I have a lot of people I can talk to. My wife is still talking to me, so I'm not worried about having conversation with people this week about Pitt, Penn State. But I'll tell you this, the minute there's a fumble, there's a personal foul, or there's an interception committed by a Pitt player this week, some smart aleck in the press box is going to say, boy, it's a good thing they kept their focus and didn't talk to the media this week. Okay, I'll have an interview. I'll have a prediction. No interviews. I'll have a prediction on the Pitt-Penn State game later in the week. This is Jerry DiPaola for the Trib 1 Minute Pitt football video.